When will the first human land on Mars? Humanity has always been fascinated by space exploration. Ever since the first human being set foot on the moon, we've been dreaming about reaching for the stars. But our sights are now set on something even more ambitious, landing a human being on the planet Mars. But when will that actually happen? That's the question that's on everyone's mind. So when will the first human land on Mars? NASA scientists. Well, it's difficult to give an exact timeline, but we're hoping to send humans to Mars in the 2030s. NASA has been working on sending humans to Mars for decades now, but despite all the progress we've made, it's still a monumental challenge. What about the private sector? Do you think they'll beat NASA to the punch? SpaceX representative. It's possible. We've been working on our own Mars mission for years now, and we're hoping to send humans to Mars as soon as 2026. SpaceX is one of the most ambitious private space exploration companies out there. They've been making strides in rocket technology and have even sent people to the International Space Station. But what are some of the challenges we'll face when sending humans to Mars? Scientist. Well, there are many challenges. First and foremost, we need to figure out how to keep humans alive on the journey to Mars, which could take up to 6 months. Then there's the issue of radiation exposure and the harsh Martian environment. And once we get to Mars, it's not going to be easy. Mars is a harsh and unforgiving environment. We'll need to figure out how to sustain human life on the planet, which will require new technologies and a lot of resources. So what's the biggest obstacle we need to overcome in order to send humans to Mars? NASA engineer. I would say it's the technological challenges. We need to develop new technologies that will allow us to safely land on Mars, sustain human life on the planet, and eventually return humans back to Earth. So when will the first human land on Mars? It's impossible to say for sure. But what's clear is that it's going to take a lot of hard work, dedication, and technological innovation. But when we finally do land on Mars, it will be a giant leap for humanity and a moment that we'll never forget. How significant do you think it will be when the first human lands on Mars? Space historian. It will be an incredibly significant event, perhaps even more so than the first moon landing. It will be a demonstration of our ability to overcome incredible technological and scientific challenges, and it will inspire future generations to continue exploring the universe. The first moon landing was a defining moment in human history, and it inspired generations of people to pursue careers in science and engineering. The first human landing on Mars could have a similar impact. What kind of scientific discoveries do you think we'll make on Mars? Mars researcher. We'll be able to learn a lot about the planet's history and geology. We'll also be able to study its atmosphere and look for signs of life. It's an incredibly exciting prospect. So when will the first human land on Mars? We don't know for sure, but what we do know is that it will be an incredible achievement, one that will require the best of humanity to accomplish. And when we finally do land on Mars, it will be a moment that will go down in history as one of humanity's greatest accomplishments. What kind of person do you think will be the first to step foot on Mars? Astronaut. It will have to be someone who is incredibly dedicated, resilient, and has a great sense of teamwork. They will be representing not just their country, but humanity as a whole, so it's a huge responsibility. The journey to Mars is not just about having the right technology and resources, it's also about having the right people. Astronauts will need to undergo rigorous training and preparation to handle the physical and psychological challenges of the mission. What do you think the long-term impact of a Mars mission will be? Mars colonization advocate. I think it will be a game changer for humanity. It will allow us to explore and inhabit a new planet, and it could even serve as a backup plan in case something happens to Earth. It will require incredible innovation and collaboration, but I believe it's worth it. So when will the first human land on Mars? We may not know the exact timeline, but what we do know is that it will be a monumental achievement that will require the best of humanity. And when we finally do reach Mars, it will be a moment that will change the course of history and inspire future generations to keep reaching for the stars. What are some of the technical challenges involved in getting to Mars? Space exploration engineer. There are many challenges involved, including the development of new propulsion systems, life support systems, and radiation shielding. The journey to Mars is a long one, and we need to ensure that our technology is up to the task of getting us there and back safely. In the meantime, robotic missions to Mars are already underway, with NASA's Perseverance rover landing on the planet in 2021. What will the living conditions be like for astronauts on Mars? Mars Habitat Designer. It will be a challenging environment with harsh temperatures, low air pressure, and high levels of radiation. We'll need to design habitats that can protect astronauts from these conditions while providing them with the resources they need to survive. The journey to Mars is a complex and challenging one, but it's also an incredibly exciting one. It will require innovation, collaboration, and dedication from people all around the world. What are some of the policy challenges involved in getting to Mars? Space policy expert. There are many policy challenges involved, including international cooperation, financing, and regulatory issues. Mars is a global destination, and it will require cooperation and collaboration from governments and private entities from around the world. International collaboration is already underway, with space agencies from around the world working together to plan and execute missions to Mars. What are some of the ethical considerations involved in colonizing Mars? Mars colonization ethics expert. There are many ethical considerations, including issues of sustainability, resource utilization, and the treatment of indigenous life forms. We need to ensure that our efforts to colonize Mars are done in a responsible and sustainable way. Which is a fascinating fact that you feel, so tell us in a video comment. And if you enjoyed it, so like the video and share it with your friends.